Cristiano Ronaldo's story is not just about football, it is about fighting odds that tried to steal his future before he even had a chance to prove himself, about a young boy from a small island who was told his heart was beating too fast for the life he dreamed of, and yet, he didn't back down, he didn't break, he rose. Because greatness doesn't come without storms, and legends aren't born from comfort. At just 15, when most kids are still discovering who they are, Cristiano was told he had a heart condition that could end everything. His career, his dream, even his life. But instead of surrendering to fear, he walked into surgery not as a victim, but as a warrior who already knew that this was only the beginning, not the end. And when it was done, when the doctors gave him clearance to live normally again, he didn't choose normal, he chose extraordinary. He came back faster, stronger, more obsessed than ever with becoming the greatest, because he had seen how close he came to losing it all, and that kind of encounter with mortality changes a person forever. Most would have slowed down. Most would have hesitated. But Cristiano turned his fear into fire, his weakness into will, and began building a career so unstoppable, so unshakable, that even those who doubted him had no choice but to watch in awe. Born on the island of Madeira to a poor family, raised in humble streets, Ronaldo knew struggle long before the world knew his name. He didn't grow up with privilege or luxury. He grew up with hunger, the hunger to rise, to succeed, to rewrite his story. He left home at just 12 years old to chase football with nothing but his talent and determination. No guarantees, no safety nets, just an unbreakable dream. And when he joined Sporting Lisbon, they saw something different in him. Not just talent, but torment turned into purpose. A boy who trained harder than anyone, cried when he lost, stayed late after practice, and obsessed over his growth like a man running out of time. Then came Manchester United, where he arrived not as a star, but as a skinny kid with too many stepovers and too little control. But what Sir Alex Ferguson saw in him was not who he was then, but who he could become, a world beater, a champion, a phenomenon. And Ronaldo didn't waste that belief. He trained endlessly, learning from legends, lifting more weights, running extra laps, staying behind to perfect free kicks when everyone else had gone home. He transformed his body, his mind, his discipline, all with a singular obsession: to become the best footballer in the world. And when critics doubted his style, he sharpened it. When defenders tried to stop him, he found ways around them. When people said he was only flair and no substance, he started scoring. And kept scoring. And kept scoring. Until no one could ignore him. He didn't just play football, he lived it. Every meal, every hour of sleep, every rep in the gym was done with intention, with ruthless discipline, with a mindset that whispered, "I'm not here to participate. I'm here to dominate." And dominate he did. In England, Spain, Italy, and back again. 5 Ballon d'Ors. Multiple Champions League titles. Hundreds of goals. Countless records. But beyond the trophies and titles, what truly made Ronaldo the best was not his footwork, it was his mind. His ability to silence the noise, to stay focused when fame tempted distraction, to keep climbing even after reaching the summit. Because the truth is, staying at the top is harder than getting there, and yet Ronaldo kept going, year after year, season after season, because he wasn't chasing applause. He was chasing excellence. And even off the pitch, he lived like a champion, giving back, donating, mentoring, becoming a symbol of resilience for millions. And while others aged, he reinvented himself, changed positions, adapted his game, outran time itself. Because he wasn't just an athlete, he was a mindset, a symbol of human potential when discipline and belief come together. And at the core of it all was that same fire that ignited when doctors told him his heart was too fast for this world, and he decided to prove that it wasn't his heart that was too fast, it was the world that was too slow to keep up with his destiny. Cristiano Ronaldo became the best not because he was lucky or born with it all, but because he earned it, day by day, setback by setback, choice by choice. And today, whether you're a football fan or not, his life reminds us all that our obstacles do not define us, our response does. That greatness is not reserved for the few, it is demanded by the determined. And that no matter where you come from, how many times life knocks you down, or how big the fear inside you may be, if you believe, if you work, if you stay hungry, you can rise. Just like he did. And that is the power of a champion. That is the soul of Cristiano Ronaldo. Because what most people saw on the screen, goals, celebrations, trophies, was just the tip of the iceberg. They didn't see the countless nights he trained alone when others slept, the pain he pushed through when no one was watching, the sacrifices he made that never made headlines. They didn't see the homesickness he carried as a boy away from his family, the emotional scars that shaped him, the relentless pressure to not just succeed, but to sustain greatness in a world that cheers when you rise and waits quietly for your fall. Cristiano Ronaldo kept going not because he had to, but because he refused to quit on himself. He became a master of his own psychology, shutting out the noise, blocking out comparison, and channeling all his energy toward progress. He lived a life of discipline that most people couldn't sustain for a week, let alone decades. While others posted and partied, he practiced. While others doubted, he delivered. He understood that talent may open the door, but work ethic is what keeps you in the room. He turned pressure into fuel. Every criticism turned into drive. Every defeat turned into learning. Every injury turned into resolve. That's why he didn't just become great. He became consistent. Season after season. Game after game. In his 30s, while others declined, he peaked. Because his body didn't lead his career, his mind did. He redefined what aging means in sports. He didn't slow down, he evolved. At Real Madrid, when people said he'd never reach Messi's level, he broke records. At Juventus, when they said he was past his prime, he silenced stadiums across Italy. At Manchester United's return, he reminded the world that greatness doesn't retire, it adapts. Even when benched, criticized, underestimated, he never begged for validation. He earned it back. Because Ronaldo is not addicted to applause, he is addicted to excellence. He lives with the mindset that every day is an opportunity to be better than yesterday. And that's what sets him apart. Not the money, not the fame, not the followers, but the fire. The same fire that burned when he was 15 and scared in a hospital bed, wondering if he'd ever play again. That fire never went out. It turned into a furnace that powered every goal, every sprint, every comeback. And even now, as a veteran, as a legend, he's still chasing greatness. Not because he has anything left to prove, but because he refuses to become anything less than his best. He reminds us that life will test your limits, but it's up to you to decide where those limits end. That champions aren't made by moments, they are made by mindset.